So there are two types of guys out there when it comes to fragrances. Guys that buy colognes because they want to smell good and get compliments. And then there are the guys that say they don't care about compliments. Well, straight up, gents, there's nothing wrong with wanting to smell good and have somebody notice. So let's talk compliments, specifically the fragrances in my collection that turn heads. Now, first up, some ground rules. I'm not going to be talking about any discontinued fragrances. I love 1 Million Privé. I had a woman chase me down in a store asking what I was wearing when I was wearing this fragrance. However, I don't think you should pay a marked up price for a fragrance that's no longer being made. I also need to stress you don't need to buy every fragrance on this list. In fact, as my wife reminds me, there is no good reason for anyone to have this many fragrances. Hence why I'm giving most of them away in my free group, the Brotherhood of Scent. It's over on School. I'm linking to it down in the description. It's free to join. Go check it out. It is the best community in the world when it comes to fragrance. I'm proud of this thing. And like I said, I'm giving away a lot of my collection. So with that out of the way, let's talk about a fragrance house that I really haven't talked about much at all on this channel. So they're a Spanish brand selling apparel, accessories, and fragrances, and they've been around since 1846. And for those of you that have watched some of my past fragrance videos, you probably noticed that I not only butcher names, but also with this particular brand, I displayed my complete lack of geography knowledge, saying that Ibiza was an island off the coast of Greece, when we all know that it's off the coast of Italy. Just kidding, it's off the coast of Spain. Yes, I will never hear the end of this, and actually, I was really good in geography as a kid. So the house I'm starting off with today is LOEWE. Now, POLO's Ibiza officially is not on this list, but I love this fragrance because of that coconut note, and I haven't gotten compliments, so if you're looking for a great summer fragrance, this one is just amazing. Some people say it's a little bit too unisex, maybe even feminine. I think not. Any guy can pull this off, especially when you're heading to the beach, or if you just want to smell like the beach. But no, the fragrance that really turned me on to these guys was Esencia. Now, the original Esencia was released in 1988. It's an aromatic, woody, fresh green fragrance, and this isn't the one that gets me the compliments. It's a great fragrance. I'm happy I have it in my collection, but it's a little bit old school. That being said, if you like fragrances and you don't care about compliments, like I know some of you guys do, then this is one definitely you could wear for yourself. No, the Esencias I'm talking about are the Eau de Parfum and the Elixir. Now, the Eau de Parfum was released in 2018. The Elixir, I think in 2023. Both of these are very similar smelling fragrances. And as some of you guys may know, both of them smell very similar to Creed Aventus. That being said, the Esencias, especially the EDP, can be found at a fraction of the price of, Creed Aventus. Now, there are tons of clones out there. Some, though, are better than others. And this one is an undiscovered gem. I think it just projects really well. Absolutely beautiful. The EDP is closer to the original Creed Aventus. And LOEWE's Esencia Elixir, this is closer to the new Creed Aventus Absolute. Darker, richer, heavier, and just absolutely beautiful. And if none of those float your boat, but you still want to try the house, check out Anonimo. This is an amber, smoky, woody, spicy fragrance that actually you can wear in 4 seasons. Mysterious, masculine, with a bit of spice. Nobody else is wearing this thing. I think that this is a hidden gem. And yeah, a couple sprays in the chest, 1 spray in the back of the neck, 1 on each wrist. This will get you compliments. Now, gents, before I go any further, I want to talk about a few fragrances that are going to get you compliments, but are pretty darn common. Nothing against these fragrances. I love them. But I do want to talk about Versace Eros, whether you go the Eau de Parfum, the Parfum, or the classic Eau de Toilette. Sauvage, same thing. You got the EDP, you got the EDT, you got the Parfum, you also have the Elixir, and you have the Cool Spray. All of those fragrances are great, but they are some of the best-selling, most common fragrances out there. And I do think that, you can wear them. If you love them, go for it. But I do think that there are some better options, or at least more unique options out there that are going to get you compliments. I probably could have lumped Bleu de Chanel in with this as well, but it doesn't sell as much, surprisingly. It's an amazing fragrance, whether you go with the EDT, the Eau de Parfum, the Parfum. But surprisingly, this one hasn't got me nearly as many compliments as a lot of the other ones I've got on this list. So it's a great dress-up fragrance, very versatile. It started the whole blue craze. But when it comes to compliments, yeah, this one's so-so. All that being said, I am going to put Acqua di Gio on this list, and for a very particular reason. That reason is that there are so many flankers that are very different than the original. In fact, they seem like almost different fragrances. Now, the original EDT, it came out, I believe, in 1996, Alberto Moris's masterpiece. This fragrance for like a decade was a bestseller and became an iconic fragrance that most people, when they smell it, they're like, oh, I've smelled this one before, at least on somebody. But then they started coming out with all these flankers, and they did a really good job of actually distinguishing them, making them different. Right here, it's now discontinued, so don't go out and buy it. But you got Profumo here that has a really nice smoky smell to it. If you want an Acqua di Gio that smells more like the ocean, go for Profondo. If you want one that is lighter, has, great for wearing in extreme hot weather, go for Profondo Lights. I know the last time I did a compliment video, I was raving about the EDP. I still love this fragrance. I have gotten multiple compliments every time I wear it, but the one I'm wearing a bit more now is the brand new Parfum. This one came out supposedly as a replacement for Profumo, and I like it. It's grown on me. Initially, I didn't like it as much, but I know it's easily available out there. So guys, going with Acqua di Gio Profumo, this is a very easy pick. That being said, if you happen to see the Absolute, understand this is a little bit sweeter. This one is probably going to be the one that would get you the most compliments because women like sweeter fragrances. Men actually like sweeter fragrances, which is a great transition into our next house, Jean Paul Gaultier. Now, the Fragrance King Jeremy fragrance I know has turned a lot of people onto Ultra Male, and for good reason. This is a fragrance that I've seen women say, you know what, I'm going to give that guy a second look. This turns heads. It's powerful, it projects, but it's becoming a little bit harder to find. Fortunately, the Elixir is not. This one is all over the place, and I have to say that I like it even better than Ultra Male, especially since it's got that honey note. Notice that people like sweet things. In fact, let's double down on the sweetness. Sticking with that house, let's talk about Scandal. This is another one that I would put on the list, and you can just go with the Eau de Toilette. This is the first one that came out, and I like it because it's a little bit cheaper as well versus the Eau de Parfum. But what I really like about the EDT is that caramel note. These are called gourmands. Whenever you smell like somebody could eat you up, and by that I mean notes like chocolate, like coffee, like something that somebody would eat, these are called gourmands. And in general, these are going to be some of the most attractive fragrances out there. The only issue with gourmand and heavier fragrances that are really sweet, that have notes like vanilla, is that they're harder to wear during the summer or in extreme heat. Now, if you're looking for a unique fragrance to wear in extreme heat, check out Gntonic by M. Micallef. So this is a niche house, a niche fragrance, something that you're not going to find commonly out there. If you like gin tonics and you're like me, you don't drink anymore, this thing you got to be careful of because it is going to make your mouth water. It's amazing. Or maybe you want something unique that's still going to get you compliments, that is masculine, that's woody and green, really makes you smell like a strong, powerful mountain man that just got out of the shower. Check out RedColorado, again by M. Micallef. It's got those classic masculine notes. It's got the green, it's got the wood, but that little bit of vanilla in here makes this something that's going to get you compliments. Now guys, if you're wondering where can I pick up those fragrances, especially those last couple, those niche fragrances, gents, I want you to go check out Maxaroma. They're the sponsor of today's video, and I have to say, I love what they're doing over there. They focus in on niche brands. That being said, they've got a lot of the best sellers, but when you go through their website, what you're going to find is that they've got the unique fragrances that you've been looking for in stock, ready to ship. I also appreciate how you can get samples. You can get a smaller amount if you just want to try a fragrance before you commit to it. All of this at some of the best prices on the web. So when you go through their website, just look at all the selection. One of my favorites is the sampler sets. So they work directly with a lot of these niche brands, and you can get tons of sampler sets so that you can explore a house before you commit to buying a full bottle. And yeah, they're a great company. I love their shipping. I love how fast they are. Everything is secured. Everything is 100% authentic. So gents, use the link, go over and check out Maxaroma, an awesome company, proud to support them. So now let's talk about some of the newer designer fragrances you're going to see out there. So you guys probably have seen the house Givenchy. I think a lot of their stuff is very confusing. Again, that's why I create infographics like this that break it all out, make it easy for you, which you can get for free over in our Brotherhood of Scent. That being said, let's talk about two of their most recent releases. As you can see, these two bottles are eerily similar. So make sure to read the bottom. You've got the one that came out in 2023, Givenchy's Gentleman's Society. And then you've got the new one that just came out, the new Eau de Parfum Extreme. So I'm going to highlight the Eau de Parfum Extreme. Both of them are fine fragrances. But what's interesting about the Eau de Parfum Extreme, it's got this iced coffee note, which I think is really unique. It doesn't last for a whole long, but it's long enough there that you can pick it up and you can walk into a box store and actually try this one out. I really like it. It's going to be, if this is more of a gourmand, as we talked about, that's why it's going to get you compliments. And if you like coffee, this one is great because you don't have to, put the caffeine in the bloodstream, and you can wear this in the afternoon or in the evening. And it's a really nice, smooth fragrance. Now, if you want a designer fragrance that's a little bit lighter, although not lighter on the budget, it's relatively expensive. It's the new Gucci Guilty Elixir Eau de Parfum. This one came out, I believe, in 2023. I kind of slept on it until I got my nose on it and I realized, wow, this thing, first up, it's got strong, projection. And the orange blossom, it's a really nice floral. It doesn't smell floral. It is just mixed really well. It's got a top honey note as well that you can pick up. It's powdery, so that's what makes it feel lighter and work well for the summer. Still, it's got a vanilla note. And like I said, guys, this thing is a projection and longevity beast. Oh, and did I mention it's going to get you friggin' compliments? This one, yeah, is a compliment monster. Now with this next fragrance, don't be deceived by the name. All right, so you get to see my balancing act here. Let's see, hopefully these don't fall. So a few years back, Prada came out with the Luna Rossa Ocean line, or at least they started it. Right here, actually, this one right here, we have the Ocean, the EDT. This one I thought was decent. I thought the name was a bit deceptive. It didn't have the ocean feel. And what's interesting is they've progressively gotten away from the overall ocean type of. So when you get this fragrance, that's what I want to hit on here. The EDP, if you like this, but you felt it was a little bit too sweet, you wanted something a little bit spicier, then you want to check out the Le Parfum. But get your nose on this because it smells nothing like the ocean. That being said, it is a beautiful scent. It's woody, amber, warm, spicy. It's going to have that citrus at the top. It's got that saffron in the middle, so it's going to be really sweet. Again, this is different than the vanilla that we've been talking about, a lot of the other fragrances. Still, it's going to have that sweetness, which is going to get you the compliments. And at the base, it's got ambroxan. Now, it's supposed to, and I would think it would project and last longer. It lasted decent. I wouldn't say this is a beast, but I do think it's a really nice fragrance. And again, one that you can easily get your nose on when you walk into a store. Now, if you've been in a fragrance store anytime recently, you have probably seen this fragrance right here from Yves Saint Laurent. Myself, it's getting pushed quite a bit by their marketing team. It's selling well, and I have to say that it is a nice, crowd-pleasing fragrance. But it's geared more towards a younger man. But a fragrance that's very similar, I think is even better and is less expensive, is POLO's brand new 67. This summer, this fragrance is a solid pick if you want to get compliments. And what I like about this is you can spray a little bit more on and it's not going to offend anybody. Now, if you want a relatively new release that you can now find at discounter so you can get a great price on this and is still smooth, very similar actually to the original, but it's going to have a little bit of more of a creamy vibe to it. And it's an absolutely beautiful bottle. Check out Light Blue Summer Vibes. Yes, this was technically last year's Summer Vibes, but it's a beautiful fragrance. And again, this is one that you can spray a lot on. Don't worry about offending anybody. It is just a nice, pleasant, just great summer fragrance. Now, you may be curious, what's a fragrance that I don't get compliments on that I just wear for myself? So there's quite a few of them. Parfums de Marly Carlisle, Tom Ford's Black Orchid, but one that I am absolutely in love with right now, and no one seems to give me compliments on. The fragrance I'm talking about is Tobacco Flirting with Vanilla by BISOUS. In fact, this fragrance is so good, I'm probably just going to give away my Tobacco Vanilla because this one, it just does it so much better. And that's hard to say because I love Tom Ford, but this one, yeah, is friggin' amazing. Now, this next fragrance by the house of Mont Blanc may offend somebody because it's going to remind them of like the late 1990s in Abercrombie and Fitch. Yeah, you remember how those stores smelt? So that right here is Legend Blue. They keep seeing, they repeat this fragrance again and again. And I was surprised how similar, or actually, you know, maybe closer to the original Abercrombie and Fitch this one was. So I would still go, by the way, with the Eau de Parfum. Not only is this one been out a little bit longer, so you can probably find it at discounters, so you don't have to pay full price like you do with this one. I think that this one projects more. That being said, this one is a little bit smoother. It does have a little bit of that blue vibe, so I see why people like it. But at the end of the day, Mont Blanc keeps repeating this fragrance because it works, because it's a crowd pleaser, because people love it. They get compliments, and whichever one you go with here, you are going to get compliments when you wear it. Now, the next house I want to talk about is Carolina Herrera, and they make some of the most tacky bottles you will find out there. The fragrances, though, I think are pretty darn good. Now, the original bad boy, the Eau de Parfum, the Extreme, these are all great and perfect for the winter. Their cobalt, their blue fragrances, on the other hand, are perfect for the summer. And let's talk about the difference. The key here is, do you like plums or not? I like plums. So the original Blue Electric, this is a beautiful fragrance. I like that plum note. Not everyone does. So get your nose on it. If you don't, then try the new Elixir. They got rid of the plum note, and it's also going to be earthier. It's going to be a little bit heavier, more masculine. So I find that actually these are not redundant fragrances. Get your nose on both. I love both of them. I've gotten compliments from both, so I'm putting both on this list because I think that they're great fragrances. I stayed away because, again, I thought that bottle was so tacky, but it's good juice. Now, you may be watching this thinking, Antonio, what, no old school fragrances? Okay, these ones really aren't that old school. 2011 Terre D'Hermes. This one right here, it restarted the house, and I don't know what it is about this dirty orange. I know it sounds weird, but with that vetiver, it is just a beautiful fragrance that is a sleeper that just gets compliments every time I wear it. And surprisingly, blue fragrances in general don't get me a whole lot of compliments, but Dylan Blue, maybe because I overspray, this one still is, it is a pretty good compliment getter, and I like it because it's versatile, it's relatively easy to find, and after all these years, it still works. Next up, we've got Paco Rabanne's Invictus. Not just any Invictus, I got the brand new Parfum. And let me be clear here, I've got all the others, they're decent. Aqua is really good, but it's discontinued, so I'm not going to recommend it. But in general, Paco Rabanne, especially their Invictus line, always seemed a bit synthetic, so I didn't recommend it much when there's so many other smoother fragrances out there. However, this new Invictus Parfum is absolutely beautiful. It's smooth, and when I was wearing this the other day, my wife couldn't keep her hands off me. She's like, well, I don't know what you're wearing, but this is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelt on you. What I like about this one, it's affordable, it's new, you can find it. It's definitely going to get you compliments like it did with me, and it's going to draw in the ladies. A really easy win, and it doesn't matter if you're a teenager, if you are in your 70s, I think you can pull this fragrance off. So gents, did any of you guys notice I'm actually on a bouncy ball, one of those chairs like that? I actually enjoy it, keeps the back straight, but keep the viewing experience going. Check out this video right here. Guys, if you like compliments, I have other fragrances in this one. I try not to repeat any of the ones in there. Maybe I did once or twice, but I do have some discontinued fragrances in this one, but it's a separate list. I made it a couple years ago. It's a solid video. Yeah, boom, go check it out. Fragrances that are going to get you compliments. And the full story of me getting chased down about that one fragrance is actually in this video. So yeah, right there.